Welcome back to Game Day Jays. I'm your host, Nick Jambrozik. And, well, these guys are just getting way too predictable because another new series and another first game loss. Seems like it's just happening every single time, but if it seems to be going in the same direction as it has been, hopefully we come out next two games strong because we've been winning series after going down one early, and we've been playing some pretty good baseball as of late. Not great, but good. We've been getting a lot better. We came off a massive series win against Cleveland. That must have felt huge. I mean, fourth best team in the entire league, and we won the series. I mean, things are moving forward, but we are still grinding to fight our way back to 500 baseball, and we are so close. We got a chance with two more wins to get even 500, and that would be so sweet. And this is a team that, we're fighting right now for that, last wild card spot, and we're fighting them in the AL East as well. This is a team that we can beat, and we have to beat. Starting pitching was not a great starting pitching performance today, sadly to say. We had Bo Bichette out for his third straight game due to calf soreness. He should be back in the lineup soon, but I'm hoping that these games taking off are just giving him time to, mentally reset and hopefully find something and come back with that, desire and, ambition to play some good baseball. There's been some rumors going around that, Dodgers without Mookie Betts could be looking at him. We'll see. We will see. Only time will tell. You can, even if something looks set in stone, these managers and head office guys are something else. So we've been there, done that. Only time will tell. But before the game, I was listening to a bit of Blair and Barker on TV, and they talked about something a little strange to me because I think Madison Shipman was on, and she was talking about how Skip, John Schneider, was mentioning the lineup today. And he said, we're going with guys that are familiar with, Jake Pivetta on the mound today. And it's just starting to boggle my mind a little bit. I mentioned it last video. John Schneider started the year off with not a whole lot to complain. I mean, he's not my favorite guy, but it wasn't bad. And now just some of the things that are coming out of his mouth and some of the moves that he's making just don't quite make sense to me, because what he said was, going after guys that have seen him before. But then what we've also heard is that we're going with guys who are hot. And the guys who are hot are the guys that came up from Buffalo. Spencer Horwitz, Addison Barger. They've both been doing a great job. Sure, Addison's only had 2 games, but 2 games, 2 RBIs. Horwitz has been swinging a good bat. Let's just not put those guys in the lineup tonight. So, I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Stick to a game plan and do what's working. Is it that hard to ask for something like that? Let's just get some consistency here. But let's start off with Yusei Kikuchi. Guy came out buzzing. He came out with back-to-back strikeouts, and after that, he just couldn't get that put-away pitch. He had his stuff going early. I mean, his fastball looked lively. His breaking balls, looked pretty good. But then that third batter, he just got ahead early, and it was almost like he was too predictable. I mean, early in a game, when your stuff's like that, it was a hot and humid day in the GTA today. So body's loose. You're feeling good. He looked good. Attack the zone early. Don't wait for the second time through the order to start switching things up. I wish he pitched more aggressive, because it just seemed like Boston knew what was coming. As soon as he got up early, they knew what to expect from him, and they worked that count full. They got his pitch count up, and it just didn't work in his favor. I mean, he wasn't super sharp with his command, but I think if he just kept attacking guys early, he would have got a bit more weak contact. Instead, fought deep in counts, got these guys to see a lot of pitches off of him, and there was 4 solo shots off him early in the game. He's been doing a fantastic job as of late keeping the ball in the park, which has been his problem in the last couple of years, but this year it's been great. But yeah, he had 2 to Canadian Tyler O'Neill. I mean, at least he was Canadian, so it didn't hurt that bad, but still hurt. 1 to Devers and 1 to their young phenom, really, in Rafaela. 3 of the 4 were pitches that were just not quite acceptable. That first home run to O'Neill, low and in, that's the guy's sweet spot. He absolutely destroyed that baseball. The one to Rafaela, I think hanging slider, low middle. And then the second one to O'Neill, I think he hung another one. The only pitch that wasn't bad was to Devers, and that was just Devers being Devers. That was a great up and away fastball that he took the other way, and sadly it left the park. But it's not fun when you're giving up 4 home runs in the first 4 innings and getting down like that. At least they were solo shots, tried to make it a bit more manageable, but I mean, it's tough when we know we're struggling to score runs, and it's such a big burden on these starting pitchers to be perfect that when they give up those runs, the team's like, shit, we got to hit now, we got to score runs. And man, it's was an unfortunate sight to see. Kikuchi only lasted 4 innings today, and his night was over. He still had 7 Ks, so it was kind of back and forth, but lived to play another day for Kikuchi. It was his birthday, so happy birthday, happy 33rd birthday. And I'm sorry I had to go like that, but like I said, lived to play another day. Richards was the first guy out of the pen, and I mean, I don't even need to talk about him because it's Trevor Richards, and Trevor Richards has been the most solid guy out of the pen all year long. Another 2 scoreless innings, by far the best guy we have in the bullpen. So Richards, tip of the cap, keep it up. You've been amazing. And then we turn the ball over to Tim Meza. And I mean, as much as I'm not the biggest fan of him, and his velocity's way down this year, he actually looked pretty good today because he started off getting that quick out, and the next 2 guys up, weak contact, just finding holes. It could have easily been 3 up, 3 down. He was not giving up really hard hit baseballs. After he loaded the bases there, or he had 2 on, guy just hit a line drive to the left fielder, and they scored an RBI then we had to walk the bases loaded to get that force out to try to turn 2. And we got another weak contact, but, it was deep enough to score the guy. And I can't blame too much on Tim because, I mean, he got weak contact. We just got unlucky that inning. So, Tim, I was impressed with your stuff tonight. And it was just a shame that we had to get 2 dinged off you. And then we had Brandon Eisert, 26-year-old lefty making his debut, worked his way up through the entire Toronto farm system. 26-year-old lefty. 2 scoreless innings. I mean, great job. Fantastic debut in the MLB. Another tip of the cap. Only 1 hit. Struggled a bit with location tonight, but I mean, it's nice having more lefties in the pen. Having Cabrera and Meza as the only 2 lefties is not great, especially with how much Schneider likes to rely on these situational matchups. But I mean, he's not a high throwing velocity guy, but he has an awkward delivery, especially to other lefties. It comes across on the left side of the plate. He's got a nice sweeping slider that is proven to be effective for what we saw. And I mean, yeah, he struggled with a couple walks, but I'd rather him miss, in non-hittable spots your first day out than, leave meatballs down the middle of the plate. So I'm sure that felt fantastic for him. It was great to see you have a good outing. And let's hope you can build on that and hope you can be a good, effective bullpen guy for us moving forward, because we've been, bitten by that injury bug a little bit. It's good to see that Jimmy Garcia, I mean, all the x-rays and imaging that they took on his arm came back negative, but you don't want to take a risk, as John said after the game. So give him a few days off, let him recover, let him get back. He is, our high leverage guy, and we don't want to rush him, especially this time of the year. So overall, other than Kikuchi giving up those home runs, it was a pretty good performance by all the pitchers. Now let's turn it over to the offense. Pivetta pitched good, but I mean, he was hittable. He was hittable. They were talking early. Buck was saying how a lot of guys tend to get underneath the ball when he pitches, and that was the case. They were totally right about that, because we were getting a lot of good pitches to hit, but we were popping them up. And when we did make good contact and good swings on balls, it just seemed like we were hitting everything to him. We actually worked the pitch count nice in the first 2 innings, which was surprising because we've been getting way too many quick 1, 2, 3 innings in the first and in the second, and just not giving our guys a lot of pitches to see and letting these starting pitchers just cruise into these games too easily. So we worked 17 pitches in the first. I think we got him up to about 40 after the second. And I mean, we're not a first inning team, but hey, I'll take being a second inning team because we are getting so much better in the second inning. And if we're not going down within the first 2 innings of the game and we can keep putting up runs in the second inning, that's so much easier for our starting pitching to actually, pitch with confidence and see what they can do with the leads. So let's keep building on that, positive second inning energy. And I just want to touch on the second inning today as well. We had a good leadoff walk by Turner. He worked the full count. So again, working that pitch count. Springer, nice little broken bat bloop single to get Turner to third. And that's where Turner had some good base running too. For a 39-year-old, he read that ball perfectly. He saw that it was going to fall in between the position players, and he made his way to third base. So we had first and third, no one out, IKF, 3-0 count. And I absolutely love how he had a green light. I mean, ball 4 up in the zone, but he just barreled that ball, got it deep in the outfield, cashed a run. He's been doing his job great. So we got on the board. It was nice to get that goose egg off early. And Ernie's swinging a hot bat too. He got on again. Kevin Kiermaier strikeout. And then we tried a double steal. Early in the game like that, I don't mind seeing that. I like the effort, but I will say, Ernie, if you don't get a jump on George early and you take that late reaction like you did, maybe just hold off on it. One guy at third is better than no one on base and the inning being over. So, I mean, I can't complain too much. I like the aggressive attitude early on in the game. We needed to get a guy on third just to make any contact, at least a guaranteed run. So, something we could have did a bit more damage on, but still not too bad. Again, building on that second inning momentum. Let me just get back to the notes here. But it was great to see Turner having a night. I mean, a double, a home run with a walk, plus some good base running. He had that good first to third, plus that good running on the double. He read that ball off the bat well. Beautiful slide into second base. Like I said, IKF doing his job, cashed another RBI tonight. Vladdy, hard hit in the first inning. Nothing else after that, but I did think he was taking a lot of good at-bats tonight. He was working the count better, and it really looks like his confidence is the best it's been all season long. Came off a 3-hit game last game, and I feel like he is just so close to going on a home run heater that when he does, this team is going to feed off that and start just blowing games open. And we need a stretch like that. We haven't had a stretch like that where we're just putting up, big run games. So, Vladdy, you are close. I feel it. And when you get there, this team's going to do something special. David Schneider, too. Another big solo shot. It was the night of solo home runs tonight. But I wanted to touch on him in the leadoff position. I did like it, but is his time coming up? That's a question that we have to ask. Early in the game, he doesn't do a whole lot. Sure, they've been talking about him having like a great eye at the plate and working pitches, but I don't know if the leadoff spot is where he's going to be in his career. And if we did want to maybe make a change with it, why not put Ernie Clement? Guy has been making contact on almost every single at-bat that he's been seeing. He got 3 hits again tonight. And that could be, a little switch to maybe boost that first inning momentum. So we'll see. Let's leave Davis where he is for now, but I don't think he's going to be there for the rest of the year. We were talking early, me and my dad and my uncle, maybe Springer could be back in that first leadoff position. But I've said in the past, I like where he is right now. I think it's a good place for him, and let's just keep him there. But I mean, he is a natural leadoff hitter, so maybe we'll see him back there soon. But the last positive thing I wanted to touch on is we only struck out 4 times tonight. So we've been seeing the ball better. We're working the pitcher a little earlier in the game, and we put a lot of good swings on balls tonight. So as much as we didn't score, like I'm sure you wanted to, and I'm sure I wanted to see them score, I can't hate on the offense too much because we're doing a lot of little things right, and it's just a matter of time before we really break out. So let's hope that we build off these positives, keep the tradition going of losing the first game of the series and finishing strong. We got 2 more games, and we got a hell of a pitching matchup tomorrow because we got Chris Bassett versus Tanner Huck. He's got a 2 ERA right now, 7-5, I think. And it's going to be tough, but if we're going to get to a guy, let's get to him. Let's get the big dub tomorrow. Thank you again for watching. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, comment. Let's chat some baseball, and let's have some fun. Thanks again for watching, and have a good rest of your night.